uncooperative. So
That's all
good
right.
morning.
That's technology. Good morning. Nice to meet you.
Hi, where are you?
I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh yeah, well, I'll be there next this weekend. So
Oh, good.
a little
Cool.
bit. I guess I got to come up Thursday. I have a hearing there,
Okay.
and then on Friday, and I'm related to half of Kansas City because my mother is from Atchison and has 51 first cousins.
Oh, I was just talking to somebody from Ireland, and my dad's full-blooded Italian, but I'm like 30% Irish. So I was
Mhm.
just talking about how proficient and how prolific the Irish blood is. So it sounds like that's what you got going on in Kansas City with that many cousins.
Yeah, yeah, we're not even Catholic. Yeah, my Irish ancestors came to Atchison County in 1852.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so, yeah,
That's wonderful. So
yeah.
where are you at right now?
I live in Oklahoma. I live in Enid, which is,
Okay.
I tell my Kansas and Missouri friends, it's like at least Kansas friends, it's like living in Salina.
Okay.
And it's, there's a lot of back and forth between Enid and Atchison because of Pillsbury. So,
I gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
I know about Enid when I was one of my first jobs when I got out of school. I did graphic design and IT work for a home health agency, and they had a big hospital down there that was a part of one of their contracts.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was. It's been so long ago, but I remember those guys used to always go down to Enid.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
um,
We enjoy living here, and, we don't do anything here. We just run the company out of here. And, we don't do any legal work to speak of out of here, not much anyway.
sure.
And, our big markets are Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Dallas, and so on.
Wonderful. I always love interviewing and talking to lawyers and attorneys. You guys are always on it. You guys are always you guys are like the Energizer Bunny for the professional world. You're 99% of you are always smart, well read, well spoken. You're always on it. You're not tired. You're boom. I love it.
Well, that's because we're all suffering from adrenaline overload from the
Yes,
fight and
you
flight.
are. You most certainly are. Man, it's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out today. And before we get into your work and your world, what you do, we all went through the ultimate adrenaline rush, which was COVID. How did you survive those 3 years? And how has it changed the way that you do things now?
We didn't give a crap.
Yeah.
I read the New York City health statistics like 2 weeks after, or within the first few days of the start of the pandemic, and I said, "Look, this is killing old people and fat people.
Right.
And if you're not old and fat, you're probably going to be okay. There's going to be exceptions to the rule, but it's not worth shutting down on." I called the bullshit early on the whole thing.
That's the thing. I remember I had a little incident in March of that year, late March, and I cut my finger and I had to go get stitches.
Mhm.
And I'm in this ER room, and there's this hardcore muscled up ER doctor that was getting ready to go to Peru to climb a mountain, and I'm like, "Dude, just set me straight on this. What's up?" And he said exactly what you said. It's going to be the infirmed, it's going to be the unhealthy, it's going to be that population that this is going to ravage. But at the end of the day, my day job is as an IT guy in a school district. I'm like a plumber. I'm around germs all the time. And
Mhm.
one way or another, if we sterilize and stagnate ourselves from not being exposed to this, and we were all going to get it one way or another, whether we knew we had it or not, it's
Yeah,
just something that's going to go through the population.
yeah, it's the circle of life, Simba.
Yeah, right. It certainly is. So let's get to the exact essence. I mean, there's one thing about what you do that's on paper, but tell me. So I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders at a career day. One of the kids looks up and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
We help people who are running companies make smart business decisions and protect their companies. That's what we do.
So
You
you're
know.
probably really active.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and yeah, and we help small businesses. Most of the law firms are hustling for the big guys, and we love helping people build their dreams. That's what we do. We help them protect it. We help them make smart decisions, and it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream to grow up and become?
I don't remember, but I do remember at sixth grade graduation, I said archaeologist.
I see a guitar back there too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. This is a cool one. This is that's a 61 Gibson that I
Wow.
found at the pawn shop for $700, and pretty nice little guitar. I got
Yeah,
a new,
that's wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good little guitar.
Man
That is,
alive, that's good looking for sure. So, there all of these things that have become who you are start in childhood. Tell me where you were born and raised, and how did these seeds get in you to not only get into law, but to be curious? You obviously have a thirst for knowledge. How did that happen?
um, I was born here in Enid, and if you're looking for formative influences, obviously my mother. My father had a land title company, but just kind of piddled through life. And he'd have told you that too. My mom decided she was going to be a doctor when she was 13. So that would have been what, about 1950, 49 anyway. And she was the only woman in her med school class, and ended up doing a residency at Barnes over in St. Louis. You've driven past it. And then she and my father moved back here, and mom was just hardcore. She was always taking care of everybody, and just didn't suffer fools, and was also really one of the pioneers of breast cancer screening, um in the sense that as I've had a professional career here, and I used to practice a lot here, and I've lived here for 25, 27 years. She, people come up to me all the time. Hey, your mom saved my life, or your mom saved my wife's life, or my mom's life, or all the time, your mom delivered me. My kids still laugh about that. People are always telling them, your grandma delivered me, and my kids are just like, what the hell? And and but we're I come from a very take care of business sort of family. And, we, and on my dad's side, great granddad sent everybody into town and told them to become doctors and lawyers and such, you know, presaging Willie Nelson.
Yeah, right.
So that's the background. And then I had a midlife crisis, and we just took the show on the road.
Okay. All right. So talk to me a little bit about what is your motivation. Every day you have things that you want to do, you want to, help companies, but what is the ultimate motivator for you?
You know, I love seeing people become successful, and just our first core value, and this is internal and external, is believe and protect their dreams. you know as a lawyer, our main job is helping people deal with vulnerabilities, either prospectively, or if they're an active vulnerability, which is called a case or a problem, right? And I love seeing people become successful, and and change their lives and change their family trajectories. I tell several stories about that. I've got one guy who's farm kid from out here in one of the little towns, and it's like I never thought I'd do much of anything with. Heck, he owns the dang town now. I'm exaggerating, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And we just had one of our clients, um, who figured out that there was a lithium in some of the saltwater brine in an old oil field in South Arkansas. We just sold that for over $100 million.
Wow.
You know, that's a pretty good day at the races. And it's really fun to take these businesses and use our knowledge as lawyers, and use it prospectively to help them make smart business decisions so they can go on and have success. And that's a large part of what the country is built on, is having people that know how to run businesses, that stay in the opportunity zone, that aren't over here dealing with problems. And it's cool and it's fun. And we love to work with ambitious business owners. And it makes for an enthusiastic tribe of lawyers, and it makes them sticky with us because they're having fun because of who we're getting to work with.
So who would you consider a hero in your life?
Oh, it's always Will Rogers. I'm an Okie. So, Okies just love Will Rogers because Will Rogers was just common and smart and clever and had a very incisive way of cutting through the bullshit and pretense of life.
So if you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now, who would it be? Who would you love to meet and talk to?
Me, I
Yeah.
mean, I like what I do. What the hell? I mean, I'm not, there's some great business leaders in this country. Um, my wife's enthusiastic about Elon Musk. She's kind of a hippie, so she thinks Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is interesting. Um, I mean, I don't, I don't, I mean, I kind of live my life. I don't have TV. Um, so I just don't pay attention to many other people's lives in that regard, if that makes sense. So
So
I wasn't trying to, you know, say that I'm awesome or something. I do my own damn thing.
no, I love it. I dig it, and that's a great answer. If you could witness any event in human history firsthand, what would you love to have seen?
Oh, I would have loved to seen the surrender at Stalingrad when, when the Russians, now the Russians aren't too popular now, but but for that battle, a lot of Europe would be speaking German right now.
Yeah, for sure. So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into a 20-year-old version of yourself, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice. What would you tell that version?
Yeah, I might have started my business earlier. I might have learned to think about the law. Um, I probably could have done it 10 years earlier, maybe. But I've learned a lot along the way, and it's really helped to make me a good leader of the tribe.
So of all the clients and experiences you've had as a businessman, what's one of them, and I know there's confidentiality, but in vague, ambiguous ways, what's one that always puts a smile on your face?
I wrote about this in The Art of Preventing Stupid, and it's when I helped the client I referenced, um, just go out and get enough insurance for their company. And that to me stands out as one of the points when I realized two things: how much knowledge that we have as attorneys, that can help people, and frankly, how much of an obligation we have to share it and to make it available rather than to hold our cards right here. Here's our cards, right? And wait for them to get in problems. Because one thing we do better than 99% of the law firms I know, I don't know if anybody does it better, they may be out there, is, getting information out to our clients. We've got first book, The Art of Preventing Stupid. I'm getting ready to do the next one. We've got a strong protected business checklist, which is like, hey, here's the list of what gets everybody in trouble. Let's get it out there. And by the way, there's also an explanatory section to it of this is why you ought to be worried about this.
So of all of the things that you've done up to this point as a professional, what are you the proudest of?
I'm think I'm kind of proud of building this company and going out and building the team of lawyers that we have and really identifying um, who can help entrepreneurs in a good way and figuring out those characteristics and then knowing how to hunt them out. Because our ad when we go recruiting for lawyers, uh, 90% of them think is completely bonkers. Because most law firm ads read like, hey, would you like to wear a gray suit and be a douchebag to humanity and work for a prestigious law firm? And ours is like, hey, would you actually like to help people and use your professional skills to make other people's lives better? And by the way, we don't hire any Eeyores. And it's actually a human ad because um, At the end of the day, there's, it's a serious profession. Don't think I don't get that, but it's also a profession that's just full of kind of an obnoxious pretense. And we don't do that. At the end of the day, our clients need a service, they need advice. And, if you want to get right down to it, in some ways, we're just plumbers pushing paper.
Okay. Well, let's get to the human element here of you. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Um, I I really have a good understanding of the law business and the strategy of it and of cases. Um, and I'm, and that experience plus, oh, here's your answer. I have a theory in life called misfit theory. And here's the basics of the theory. 5% of the world are mean jerks. Now there's a selection bias of them going into the law business. And then I just spoke in front of a bunch of lawyers and they were all nodding their heads when I said that. And then 10% of the people are nice, cool. 85% of us really self-identify as misfits, but the misfits kind of don't like to stand up and they just kind of think that they're weird and curious people, which, I am. And but what that does is by default, the mean jerks tend to, have the will to power. And I talk about misfit theory all the time, but I didn't talk about it to a new attorney we hired in Tulsa. And she said to me the other day, she goes, I'm so happy that this is just like a band of misfits that all is very high functioning and works together. And so, I'm that's who we are. We we're very tribal about who we go hire.
So let me ask you this, as someone that looks at human behavior and helps people, do you have hope for humanity?
Um, yeah, I do. I think we're suffering through some contagions right now, and I think the West has kind of lost its way. Um, you know, I'm I was just in DC and I was talking to a bunch of Ethiopians, which they're kind of my tribe too, because my baby, the fifth child, is from Ethiopia. So I'll go up to Ethiopians and say salam, and they're just like, "What's this white boy talking to us in our language with?" And it just kind of I know enough Amharic that they're just like, "What the?" And it's so cool to see what they're doing in DC. And I have a lot of hope for them. And but yeah, we've got to get some stuff straightened out in this country.
We certainly do. Matt, if anyone wants to hire you, learn more about you, anything about your world, where can they go?
DavisBusinessLaw.com.
Matt, you're a great man. Thank you so much for opening up. I love your story. I love your spirit. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks. It was fun.
Send my best to Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah, it's here. We're having fun down here. It's nice to be back.
I love it, man. Enjoy Kansas City. Enjoy the trip.
Okay, yeah, I'll see you. Take care.
Yes, sir. Take care. Thank you.